So today I wanted to talk about my year in aviation from 2022. So for anyone who's new to my channel and hasn't gone back and seen some of my first few videos, I started a YouTube channel in the first part of the year in March. I'm building a Sling TSI, and I wanted to chronicle my build along with my other interests in aviation. I just thought it'd be kind of a fun little side project to do, and so I went through. I set up a logo. I built a page, and I started doing some videos of me preparing for my Sling TSI. A little bit after that, my Sling TSI kit arrived. It was shipped from South Africa to California, and then California to where I was living at the time in Florida. Unfortunately, the shipping company, because the boxes are so big, said they couldn't deliver it to my house because they wouldn't fit on the lift. So what I had to do was rent a trailer, and they used a forklift to put these big boxes on the trailer, and it took me 2 trips to get all of the boxes home. It didn't matter to me. It didn't matter that it was 10 o'clock at night when I finally got them loaded, but I got them home, got them unloaded into my garage, started doing my inventory, opening everything up, and I started working on the kit. And there you see my parts board, and I've got everything laid out. This is me getting things opened up, and I started pulling everything apart. There are just thousands of pieces, so trying to do inventory takes some time, getting everything organized and put away. And then I had a hangar at the time in Florida, so I took the parts that I wasn't using and I packed them back up, and I took them to the hangar for storage. So I wouldn't clutter up my garage. I had about a 2.5 car garage, so I had room, but not a lot of room for extra storage. Here you see I did some allodyning or Bondurite, and then I primed some of the bigger pieces. This is a shot of my upholstery. And then I did some more videos of me building, using the rivet guns, just doing assembly. I did a video on the paint gun I used to do my priming with. So if anybody's interested, you could go back and look at those, my early YouTube videos. This is just some finished pieces that I'm finishing up. That's my shop dog, Penelope. And then I think this was the rudder, was my first sort of piece that I got put together that looked like a plane part. As the year continued, I worked with Evoke Aviation, Evoke Aircraft Design on my paint scheme. It was kind of a fun side project I'd started earlier in the year. I continued to go back and forth with them and my wife and working on some designs. We sort of took a pause. We're not sure exactly what we're going to go with quite yet, but I highly recommend Evoke if anybody needs to find somebody. They have been great to work with, very responsive, very quick to incorporate changes. Also in 2022, the B-29 Super Fortress dock came to Tallahassee. My EAA chapter assisted with this, and I spent 2 days at the airport kind of helping marshal people around to see the plane and taking flights. I did a video on this as well if you want to watch a little more, but that B-29 dock is really, really neat. I really enjoyed seeing it. It's just a super cool project. A couple of the pilots associated with the project are incredibly knowledgeable, and I really learned a lot. Then in April, we had Sun and Fun. I was in Florida at the time, and Sun and Fun's just down a little ways, and I started touring all of the displays and looking at some of my vendors for my Sling TSI build. This is a built Sling TSI. That's another YouTuber, Mojo Grip. This is another one from Sling Pilot Academy. This was a build from a build assist center called Midwest Sky Sports. This is a model of the engine that I'm going to put in my plane, and I just toured through, looked at all the vendors, watched the air shows, and I put together a number of videos. Again, if anybody's interested, the air shows, my walk around tour, I've been going to Sun and Fun for quite a number of years because I was Florida based until recently, and I could always drive down there in just a few hours. I never actually flew in. I had an aircraft for a while, but at the time I was a newer pilot, and it just kind of was intimidating. Since it was only just a few hour drive, I always just drove down. So then while on a business trip with my wife, I stopped by the Air Force Armament Museum, which is on Eglin Air Force Base, sort of in the western panhandle of Florida. It's a neat little museum. You can probably spend 2, 3, 4 hours and do the whole thing really well. They have some places for picnics. This is a C-130 Spectre gunship. They have a lot of static displays outside. Inside is a more curated museum displays with all sorts of bombs and missiles, and they have a memorial and some other stuff. It's really a nice place to see. So on the same trip, I was on the western panhandle of Florida. I drove over to Mobile Bay, where the USS Alabama Battleship Park is. And it's a neat museum park setting with the battleship is in the water. They have the USS Drum, I believe is the name. It's a World War II submarine that's on land that you can tour. And then they have an aviation museum indoors. And then they have a number of different things, static display outside of all of those. They have planes and tanks and artillery and helicopters and all sorts of stuff, as you just see a memorial. Just a lot to see. It's really entertaining. It does have a fee to get in, but you can spend a whole day there if you really go through everything. So then my wife and I decided to move to a fly-in community. So I had to pack up my Sling TSI kit and put it in storage for a little while we prepped our house. And then we bought a new house at a fly-in community, and I've really enjoyed it. It's fun seeing aviation all day, every day in the neighborhood. I haven't been building much because I've been restoring the house. The house was in need of a good bit of restoration. So as you can see here, my asphalt taxiway is a little rough, and I start working on that. And that was one of the projects I did between some projects on the house. So just trying to patch the holes, and then I laid down some asphalt sealer to dress it up and make it look a little better. Inside the hangar, I continued to do a number of projects to clean things up, get everything working, to get the air conditioner working. As I remodeled the house, I brought some cabinets outside and mounted them into the hangar. But the bulk of the work is on the house itself. So again, I haven't had the time to work on my aircraft, but we're busy improving the house and getting it ready before I start a new job here shortly. So then I went to AirVenture in Oshkosh. I don't have a plane flying, so I just flew commercial out there. I stayed for 3 days, and I just had a blast. I set up this trip before I was retired. In fact, I set it up almost a year before when I was working, and I didn't. I should have stayed for the whole week, but I'd already made hotel and airfare and all, and it would have cost a lot to change it. So I only got 3 days in, but I made the most of it. I did a bunch of videos. If you're interested, look at my channel. And I did air shows and some of the new planes that came out, and just walked around and took pictures and video of almost everything. Here's a picture of the famous Scrappy from Mike Patey. This is Scale Wings 51, which is a neat plane that was in an air show and also debuted at the show. It got a lot of attention. And then I just walked around and saw a little bit of everything. Obviously, I'm building a Sling TSI. I've actually got a deposit down on a Sling High Wing, which also debuted at AirVenture this year. So I went and looked at all my vendors and looked around. Did Fighter Town and just all the things that AirVenture has. So while I was at AirVenture, I actually got notification that they were ready to deliver some final pieces of my Sling TSI kit and my engine. So I had to put off receiving them until I got back. So this was just like a day or two after I got back from AirVenture. But I got the engine, and I think those were some longerons and the firewall forward kit and some other things. So it kind of finished me up with some back ordered parts. There's my 915 IS, and I'm good to go. Then in late September, I went to a brand new event I've never been to. It's called Triple Tree Fly-In, and it's at the Triple Tree Aerodrome in Woodruff, South Carolina. And if you ever get the opportunity, it is a wonderful place to go. Again, I did a video of it, a couple videos. It's like a 7,000 foot by 150 foot wide turf runway. And the facility is just really neat. They have a pavilion. You can get food. You can do camping. They have a shower, bathroom facilities. It's just a really neat event. So late September every year, Woodruff, South Carolina. Definitely look into it. It's definitely worth your time. I really enjoyed it. I got a lot of response from some of my videos. But that turf runway is just really incredible, and a lot of neat aircraft showed up for the event, so it was fun to walk around. We had a little bit of everything there. So then as I got back, I did a few more things to the hangar. I started working on some insulation. I got some taxiway lights to put around my little taxiway in front of my hangar. I'm going to paint some lines and put some reflective paint down at some point. I've got that ready to go. I just got to get the time. But kind of turning it into my own little airport. And this is just some insulation. And I pulled some old cabinets. I'm renovating a really old house, so they had some old wood cabinets that I pulled out of the house and I put in the hangar. But that's my year in review. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate you watching. Go back and subscribe, look at my old videos, and comment and let me know what you think. Thank you. Have a good day.